This is your $1,200 stimulus check update and the latest stimulus news. As always, this video pertains to everybody, but I like to look out for my friends here on the channel, the underdog, the small guy, whatever definition you want to say. But hey, those people include Social Security recipients, whether it's retirement, disability, or survivors, SSI recipients, supplemental security income, VA beneficiaries, as well as low income and no income. But hey everybody, this is Matt. Welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a nice day so far. Today is Sunday, September 13th. Let's get right into it. But before we do, if you're not subscribed for any reason or you're new here, first off, welcome to the channel, but please hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much. Now that you're subscribed, let's talk about this. A new report was just out recently suggesting that over $25 billion is owed in back rent payments. That's nuts. In the last 6 months, over $25 billion that tenants haven't been able to pay in rent. What does that tell you about the health of the economy and everything going on right now? It's also projected that by the end of 2020, 70 as in 70 billion dollars will be owed in back rent that has not been paid by tenants. Again, I wanted to point this out because I think that gives a perspective into like what's going on in this country, the dire situation that we're in. Those are huge numbers. So I feel like that's very interesting, this report that was just out. So again, I also want to point out, if you're one of these people who has had trouble paying your rent and you're struggling, the point of this report and why I'm pointing this out is please don't feel ashamed. Seriously, millions upon millions of people are not able to pay their rent right now. So if you're one of those people, please don't feel bad about it. Please don't feel ashamed. There are millions of people in this same situation. So I continue to look out for you, and please don't let that bother you if you're not able to pay your rent. We're doing everything we can right now, considering the current circumstances. So again, another thing that's interesting. Remember back about a month ago in early August, President Trump signed those 4 executive orders, one of which was the extension of the unemployment benefits at a rate of $300 per week. For basically, he was taking money out of, or they were redirecting money out of FEMA to pay for that. Well, guess what? There was only enough money available for 5 weeks. Well, guess what? That money is done. It's over. It's done. That $300, the enhanced unemployment benefit, that's it. They ran out of money. It was only good for about 5, maybe 6 weeks in some instances. So again, the reason I want to point that out is because once again, we're in the same situation we were back in late July when the $600 enhanced unemployment benefit expired or ran out. I shouldn't say ran out, when it expired. So again, we're back in the same situation. Why is this important? Well, the House of Representatives and the Senate will both be back in session tomorrow, Monday, September 14th. That's good because maybe they can come together finally now that both of these groups are back in session. They can start negotiating out this stimulus package maybe a little bit more aggressively before their October recess. Yes, believe it or not, they're going on another 1-month recess in early October, which is crazy. But that's what we're dealing with. So hopefully now that they're back in session, they can start negotiating this out and finally come together on something before they leave once again. Another reason this is important, and another reason this is great that the House of Representatives is back in session. As we know, I've talked about this multiple times, the House is controlled by Democrats. Well, that's important because President Trump, like I've been saying in my last few videos, has $300 billion that he has his eyes on that he wants to redirect from the CARES Act that was approved back in March. Now that $300 billion is unused money, but in the eyes of Congress, it has already been allocated and, quote, used. Even though it hasn't been used, it's already been allocated and essentially assigned. However, it's not been used, but President Trump has his eyes on it, and he wants to redirect it and send it out in the form of stimulus checks. He has asked the Democrats to give him a 1-sentence approval saying, hey, just give me 1 sentence. That's all I'm looking for. 1 sentence to give me the authority to redirect that $300 billion in the form of stimulus checks. So the reason I'm pointing that out again is because now that the House of Representatives will be back in session tomorrow, they'll all be together. Maybe they can spend an hour or a half hour or hopefully like 10 minutes and say, hey, what does everybody think? Should we give President Trump the 1-sentence approval he's asking for so he can send out the stimulus checks? You never know. Maybe they will come together on this. If anything, I feel like that's what American people need right now. We can always talk about all of these corporate bailouts and this next trillion plus dollar stimulus package another day. Seriously, but what people need right now is the next $1,200 stimulus check. That's what everybody's concerned about right now. Meanwhile, all these huge corporations are getting multi-billion dollar bailouts, which is really sad and unfortunate. But so it's definitely going to be a very interesting week as all of these people are back, and hopefully they continue to hash something out. I feel like this is going to be a pretty busy week with everybody here, and so of course, like I always say, I'll continue watching it. Now I want to point something else out. I talked about this yesterday, but I want to bring it up again quickly. I'll kind of burn through this quickly, but I want to talk through it one more time, just in case you did not see my video from yesterday. And I fear that there's a lot of people out there who fall into this category but have not acted quite yet. So I want to point this out because I think this is really important. Yesterday, I talked about these 9 million letters that are being sent out by the IRS to people who are, in most cases, non-filers who did not receive their stimulus checks quite yet. 9 million letters are going out. That means 9 million plus people have not received their first stimulus check. That's a lot of people. I wish all 9 million people were here on the channel watching this, but either way, I want to reach as many people as I possibly can. But the reason this is important, if you have not received your first stimulus check yet, please listen closely. If you typically do not file taxes, if you're a non-filer, again, this is off of the IRS website, irs.gov/coronavirus. Check it out there. You can read exactly everything I'm talking about right here. If you're a non-filer and you've not received your stimulus check, please, the IRS is encouraging you to go to the IRS website and fill out the non-filer tool in order to get that stimulus check. Of course, this doesn't determine, when you file this information, it's going to determine your eligibility. They'll examine your exact situation, but just because you file this form doesn't mean that you're automatically eligible. But if you're one of these people who is a non-filer, of course, there's a couple other restrictions why you may not be eligible, but in most situations, you're probably eligible to get it. So fill out the non-filer tool as the IRS is recommending that you do, and after that, roughly 2 weeks later, after you fill out the non-filer tool, you should be able to see some kind of status updates on the Get My Payment tool on the IRS website. So these are two different little like portal things. The Get My Payment tool, that is 2 weeks after you fill out the non-filer tool. But as soon as you fill out that non-filer tool, then your information is in the system. So that's important. You need to do it by October 15th. If you don't, it's kind of like, well, you're out of luck. You need to wait until next year to file your 2020 tax return. So that's important. Again, if you have dependents, if you had a dependent under the age 17 at the end of 2019, that person, if you claim that person as a dependent, you could be eligible for the additional $500 on their behalf. So the deadline on filing for your dependents is September 30th. So please, here we are in mid-September already. Please get over there and do that right away if you're one of these people so that you don't miss out. Again, you can maybe try to do it from your phone, but if you have access to do it from a computer, it sounds like there's a lot more likelihood that the process will be accepted on the IRS website if you can do it from a computer, or if you know somebody that can help you out with the computer. So I hope this helps you. Again, I wanted to point this out again because I fear there's a lot of people out there continuing to watch these videos that don't even know that you need to fill this out. So please get over there and fill that out right away if you can. Again, of course, today's Sunday. There's not a whole lot of new information. However, this next week I think is going to be loaded with information because, like I said, the House will be back, the Senate will be back, and I guess at this point, let's just pray that the House and the Democrats give President Trump that one sentence approval to redirect that $300 billion. At that point, I feel like, do whatever you guys need to do with the rest of the stimulus package at that point, but just seriously send out the stimulus checks. That's what everybody needs right now. So I'll continue to watch everything. As I always say, I'm here for you. Please leave any comments or questions down below. And like I said, subscribe if you're new here. Otherwise, I'll catch you again tomorrow. Enjoy your Sunday, and thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you soon.